Hey, my name is Chad. This video we're going to talk about my February local PRS match. So we just had this match yesterday on Sunday the 17th, I believe, or 16th. And I'm really getting bad at keeping track of days the older I get. I just know what day of the week it is. So anyways, it was Sunday the 16th. So I ran out here to my range so I could talk about this a little bit because as soon as it gets dark right now, it is going to be like a straight downhill temperature. Pretty much from now until I believe Thursday morning at sunrise. So it is dropping tonight. We're going to have like the -10 to -20 wind chills for Tuesday and Wednesday from what it is sounding like. So yeah, very glad that our match was not tomorrow, because that's really, really cold and I totally would have died. So anyways, I had everything ready and put together, and I decided unintelligently to run bore snake through, just get some of the buildup from the last couple matches out of my barrel. I've figured out that I'm just over 1,500 rounds, so I've only got a couple hundred left on this, more than likely. I'm not wasting too much time cleaning it. So I pulled the bore snake through, got it a little fixed up, and then I figured I'd get there early and shoot 2 or 3 just to get it refouled a little bit. For some reason, the first 2 or 3 shots after pulling a snake through are always a little bit off. Well, I had problems with contacts again Sunday morning and wasted about 30 minutes trying to get one of my contacts in, and got very frustrated, and that probably made it take longer. But I got there right as we were getting everybody started. So first stage was a full-on NRL Hunter. I did not have any of my gear ready to go, and that's my worst type of stage because I don't practice it. So I was kind of flustered. I'll admit now, I hope I got Triggercam video of everything, but I forgot to set up this camera until the very last stage. I was cold and it just wasn't on my mind. So I really do need to get a camera person to come and help out on some of these, but didn't happen this time. So I missed some of the behind me shots, but mostly it was prone after the hunter stage. So kind of boring to just sit there and look at me laying on the ground. So first stage, we're using the back of a flatbed diesel truck as the prop, and you gotta, hold your stuff, walk up to it and set your rifle down, and then get your binoculars out, find the 2 targets, range them, and get their data. I was going to try to use my armband, but as I was comparing a few distances on the drive over there, I was noticing that the ammo that I had made that armband off of was a little bit different than what I'm loading right now. So everything was 2 to 4 tenths off on elevation. And I just decided I would run it, just push the button real fast on the Kestrel and see if I could make that work. So I got both distances plugged in and dialed my scope to the first one, and then got set up to shoot. And they told me I was actually looking at the wrong one. I dialed it for the right target, and we were supposed to shoot the left one first. I didn't read that part of the directions. So I had to adjust my scope and then just remember, because I didn't write them down on my dope card, where I was going to back and forth between the 2 targets. So took my first couple shots, completely missed those. I was expecting that. Moved to the second target, and we couldn't really tell if I was hitting. It looked like I possibly hit it, but it could have just been the grass right behind the target also blowing up. Very hard to see with the way the sun was shining and the color of the grass and the white of the target. So more than likely I missed both of those. Then moved position, go back to the first target, and actually got first round hit on that one. Moved over, and for sure I hit the second target on the second shot. So they gave me 3 points for that one. Max would have been 8. So then we get loaded up, and my hands, I took both my gloves off. I was completely freezing at this point, and it took me about another 20-30 minutes to get my hands warm. I was super frozen at that point, but we drove in and got up to the normal location, got up to the top of the hill, and we just kind of ran 2 stages that were in prone, running a troop line. First one was where we shoot at 5, 6, 7, 820 and 1120. And honestly, I do not know what was going on here, but I was just off. and that's all there is to it. I think I had psyched myself out a little bit while everybody else was shooting and I was waiting my turn. I kept watching my Kestrel, and I would see the wind vane. It would be totally dead still, and then all of a sudden it'd kick over like this and get up 7-8 mile an hour wind, and then kind of calm down and just be dead calm again. The next time I'd look over at it is 90 degrees shifted direction and another 7-8 mile an hour wind. So as it was warming up, the wind was jumping all over the place. I think what I did is I overcorrected for wind, and the way I was bundled up, I could not really feel the difference in the wind. Pretty much the only thing exposed was my face and my hands, and they were so cold that they're pretty well dead to any feeling. So I just had bad wind calls on that one, and I only got 4 out of the possible 10 points on that. So those first 2 stages, rather disappointing for me, but I knew I'd have problems in the cold. Then we do the second troop line, and we've done this one before many times, but we reversed it. So we start at the farthest, so 1010, then move to 936, 700, 550, and 450, and 2 shots on each. And getting set up for this one, I had a little more confidence on the wind and got down and got my first 2 shots at the 1010, and boom, smacked them both. Moved to the 936, got both of those. Moved to the 700, got both of those. Moved to the 550, and I could feel the wind starting to change. I tried to take out a little bit just on the scope, but I left it dialed on my, like on the reticle, but I left it dialed on my turret, and judged it a little bit off and missed the first one at 550, and then came back in, got a hit on the second one. Moved to the 450, and I really should have just dialed my scope all the way down instead of trying to hold off on it. It's the hardest target to see. It's secluded by a little bit of a tree from the angle I was shooting at it, and I just missed both of those. So I got 7 out of 10 though. I believe one of the higher scores for that stage. Now the next one was kind of like a hunter stage. So we were allowed to look out and find the 3 targets. There was a bobcat, a human head, and then a pig. So we were able to, find them where they're at out there. But when we started, we had to be holding everything, and they called time, and we only had 3 minutes. Had to run up, get set up with your ranging, and range the targets, and then input them to get your data. So what I decided to do this time was go ahead and jot them down. So I had my little table that I showed off last week, which had actually worked really great for this stage. So I was able to use that, and I wrote down my distances on my dope card here. And the benefit of that was I was able to just quickly look at it. I was a little more calm and took my time, made sure to get everything down good there. Then got laid down on the rifle and found the targets. Now the trick on this one was you could not dial elevation. So no using your scope turrets on here. Everything had to be done with holdovers. So I got on there and got the first target, took my time, and boom, boom, boom. I got all 3 hits on the first one, moved to the second one, and I think I got 2 out of the 3 hits on that one, and then moved to the last target. And right as they called time, I squeezed the trigger. I think time went off right before I squeezed the trigger, actually. So I actually got the hit, but it was after time. So I took 6 shots and got 5 hits that counted. Technically, I took 7 shots and got 6 hits, but only what counted. There was a maximum of 9 on that stage, and I got 5. So then we moved to the only real positional stage of this whole match. It was off the railroad tie pyramid structure, and there was the first guy ran it as it was set up. You're supposed to do 2 shots at 320 and then 2 shots at a 380 target while set up at the highest position, and then move down to the left side, any position on the left, and then do the 320, 380, and then another one at 396 on top of a hill, then 396 again, 380, and 320 for a total of 10 shots. Well, the first guy ran through it. Second guy got up, and first shot at the 320 knocked it off the hanger that it was on. It's like a gong style target. So that one's gone, and we had to kind of configure everything. We decided we would just do 4 shots at the 380 from the top position, then move down and do 2 shots at 380, 2 at 396, and come back and finish with 2 at 380. So my turn comes up. I get up, get set up. I remembered to put my bag under my arm and got a good, nice wide stance and got real good and stable on it. And I was just, if you can see, I don't know if you can see here, but my adjustments for each of them, one of them was 1.4 and one of them was 1.5. Well, obviously seeing that in the sides of the targets, I knew I did not need to mess with my scope at all. So as long as the wind held, I should be good. So I was trying to listen for the wind and get down on it, and I just took my time. Boom, hit, boom, hit, hit, hit. I got all 4 hits from the top position. I'm like, okay, we're on a roll. I get down, and I get down to the lowest, next to lowest position. That way I know I can get all the way down on my knees, and that is the most stable for me. Luckily, I'm a little bit flexible still. I'm getting older and I'll lose that soon, but I was able to get down on my knees and get squatted down real good, and took my time. 2 hits at 380, got 2 hits there. Go to 396, shoot 2, hit 2, come back to 380, shoot 1, hit it, and I was getting nervous at this point because I was on a good roll. Shoot my last one and hit it. Boom, clean stage. So super excited about that. Totally got a clean stage. I was really happy about that just because the morning started off terribly, and I was able to finish off with having an overall good performance. You know, bad start to the day. As each stage progressed, I was getting better and better and more confident. Hey, if you look at the weather and see that you're about to have 3 days of super, super cold temperatures, but you want to come outside anyways, and you make a run down before it gets dark, go ahead and get subscribed, because obviously I do that. And probably not the best move. I could have stayed home and stayed warm tonight, but I wanted to come down and get a little more fresh air before I get stuck inside in negative 20-degree wind chill. All right, I got a car coming. We'll try to finish this up. So going over my numbers, I took 43 shots for the day. My hit percentage would have put me about 65% hit rate. I scored about 62% of the maximum score. Going off of how many shots I took to what my score was, I earned about a 68%. So it kind of differs how you score the first NRL Hunter stage. If you got all first round hits, you'd score all 8 points, but you'd only take 4 shots. If you got all second round hits, you score, well, I guess you'd only score 4 points, but you would have taken 8 shots. So there's a weird figure, and I was trying to factor that in. Either way, I scored, 62, 63-ish% of the score. Mostly I'm kind of pleased with the 65% hit rate. I really messed up those first couple. They cost me quite a bit on that, but over 50% of the shots that I take, I get hits on in a match environment. For being that cold, I'm pretty pleased with it. They haven't posted the results, or if they have, I don't get on Facebook, so I haven't noticed them yet, but I don't know how I ended up overall. There was actually about 8 or 9 people that showed up, so more shooters than expected, especially for a February match and how cold it was in the morning. So good day to get out and have some fun. Sorry for the sniffles. I know that it doesn't look like it from my camera, but the sun has gone down already, and it is getting very, very cold on me very, very quickly. So I think we're going to finish this up here and get on with the rest of the doings for the day. So, well, that's going to be it for this match review video. Please let me know down in the comments, what do you think? I'm sorry I didn't get more footage of me shooting. I will put in all of my trigger cams so you can see at least what I was looking at. Hopefully I recorded everything well. I got a larger card so that I can record more going into these next couple of matches. Speaking of, so here we go. I got my 400 cases in of all matching lot number brass, so we're going to start on that. I got the primer tool. We are going to do initially just with the load that I've been running, and we're going to do a crush depth test and see if we can figure out the optimal primer seating depth for these cases. And then we're going to just load up a bunch of them and start firing through them. I will admit, I just got the email notification before I came out here that my new powder dispenser is on the way. I couldn't get it out of my head, and I just had to go ahead and order it. So I do have the RCBS Matchmaster powder dispenser coming in. We'll compare it to the IntelliDropper, see if it's as fast and accurate as its claims are. I really hope it is, because that's one of the things that just takes quite a bit of time, and upping the quantity that I'm going to be loading, I really wanted to get something that would speed up that process. And this seems like the best way to go without going all the way to the higher end auto tricklers and things like that. Let me know if there's anything specific that you want to see tested between the Matchmaster and the Frankfurt IntelliDropper, and I'll do that, and we'll see what I do with whichever one I decide to keep. I'm definitely getting cold now, so we're going to load up and get headed back home. Thank you very much for hanging out with me for a few minutes talking about this past match and what we got coming up that we're going to be doing in the next few weeks for upcoming matches, because we're only a few weeks away now. March 8th is going to be the first one of these regional PRS matches that I'm going to try. It's going to be terrible, but I'm going to go struggle through it and hopefully learn a lot. Once again, thank you very much for hanging out with me for a few minutes. I really do hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.